Let's take our seats and quiet down. Sunday school is beginning. And today, it really is Sunday school uh, because I'm going to continue discussing the holy books of Thelema. And I'm going to read a chapter, the beginning chapter of Liber 65 in just a moment. I'm reading from this text here that was published in 1983 by the then publisher's name was then Samuel Weiser. And it was one of the first major publications of the modern OTO. And it was introduced, or the preface was written by Hymenaeus Alpha 777, which was my initiator, Grady L. McMurtry. And it is really a thorough and very scholarly book. The editor and editors were the finest, in my opinion, Thelemic scholars living at the time. So it's a wonderful book. But the Holy Books of Thelema are out in multiple editions, and any edition that you can get a hold of, you'll thank me, I think. I'm going to read the opening paragraph that describes what the holy books are, sort of. And this is by Grady McMurtry, or Caliph Hymenaeus Alpha 777, who was the supreme and holy king of the OTO at the time. And at the time, the U.S. OTO was the premier OTO body existing in the world at the time. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. The holy books of Thelema are the chief legacy of their scribe, Aleister Crowley, 1875 to 1947. Their principal value to us, his heirs, lies not in their considerable literary merit, but rather in the insight and illumination these books yield on each reading. Written, as they were, on the most exalted planes of spiritual experience, they have a way of unfolding within the reader, of not only retaining, but increasing in their relevance. Since these works were written through Crowley, they cannot be classed with those books of magical and mystical instruction consciously written by Crowley. They afford far more than information or instruction. They give access to the source of the scribe's genius and can awaken, as if by sympathetic resonance, promptings towards similar experiences in the receptive reader. And then it goes on with a marvelous long preface. But the idea being, just reading or listening to these holy books without bothering yourself unnecessarily with the task of trying to analyze with your meat brain or Kabbalistically dissect what they're talking about. That'll happen anyway. But just to listen to it as music that acts as a spiritual drug that you need only listen to and enjoy, and it grows within you. and makes more and more personal sense as it unfolds over repeated readings. They are truly magical books, and not the same as like Theory and Practice or big parts of Book 4, but magical books that initiate within you altered states of consciousness, whereby your own reflection of these same states of consciousness and potential states of consciousness in you, they resonate sympathetically. So I'm going to ask you today, when I read this chapter of Liber 65, to listen to it as music, to relax, to enjoy, to watch it play out in your mind like a wonderful, magical animation that need only be appreciated for its movement and beauty. So, that being said, let's see what it says about Liber 65. Liber 65, Liber Cordis Cincti Serpente, heart girt with serpent. It's Liber 65 because 65 is the number of Adonai, the holy guardian angel, which is an experience that takes place in number 6 level of the tree of life, Tifereth, the sun, the heart chakra. It is the account of the relations of the aspirant with his holy guardian angel. So if you're interested in your own holy guardian angel, this is wonderful background music to harmonize with that aspiration. This book is given to probationers as the attainment to the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel is the crown of the outer college, or that level of the work. Similarly, Liber 7 is given to neophytes. Now that's the one I read a chapter from yesterday. As the grade of Master of the Temple is the next resting place. And Liber 220 to the Zealoter. So different books are given to students at different levels of their initiatory career. I'm going to skip ahead. The Book of the Heart Girt with Serpent is a magical treatise, and it describes particularly the relations of the aspirant to with his higher self. It is, alike in conception and execution, a masterpiece of exaltation of thought, carved in pure beauty. The 5 chapters, and I'm going to read chapter 1 today. The 5 chapters refer to the 5 elements. Number 1, earth, that'll be today's. 2, air. 3, water. 4, fire. And 5, spirit. Each shows its element in the light of the relation between the Adeptus Minor, or that's the grade that you get at Tifereth, number 6, 5 equals 6, it's called, and his holy guardian angel. The full knowledge of the interpretation of this book is concealed from all, save only the shining triangle. And I believe that refers to the supernal triad, 1, 2, and 3 on the tree of life. The probationer must nevertheless acquire a copy and thoroughly acquaint himself with the contents. He must commit 1 chapter to memory. And again, Liber 65 is the number of Adonai. Okay, here we go. Liber 65, Liber Corpus Cincti Serpente, subfigura Aleph Daleth Nun Yod. ADNA Adonai. And again, I had this chapter memorized letter perfect to fulfill my my obligation at the time. But I'm going to not tax my memory and risk a typo or a mistake, and I'm going to read it to you today. Liber 65, AA, publication in Class A. 1. I am the heart, and the snake is entwined about the invisible core of the mind. Rise, O my snake. It is now the hour of the hooded and holy ineffable flower. Rise, O my snake, into brilliance of bloom, on the corpse of Osiris afloat in the tomb. O heart of my mother, my sister, mine own, thou art given to thou art given to Nile, to the terror Typhon. Ah me, but the glory of ravening storm enswathes thee and wraps thee in frenzy of form. Be still, O my soul, that the spell may dissolve as the wands are upraised and the aeons revolve. Behold in my beauty how joyous thou art, O snake that caresses the crown of my heart. Behold, we are one, and the tempest of years goes down to the dusk, and the beetle appears. O beetle, the drone of thy dolorous note be ever the trance of this tremulous throat. I await the awaking, the summons on high from the Lord Adonai, from the Lord Adonai. Adonai spake unto VVVVV, saying, there must ever be division in the word. For the colors are many, but the light is one. Therefore, thou writest that which is of mother of emerald, and of lapis lazuli, and of turquoise, and alexandrite. Another writeth the words of topaz, and of deep amethyst, and of grey sapphire, and of deep sapphire with a tinge of blood. Therefore do ye fret yourselves because of this. Be not contented with the image. I, who am the image of an image, say this. Debate not of the image, saying, beyond, beyond. One mounteth unto the crown, by the moon, and by the sun, and by the arrow, and by the foundation, and by the dark home of the stars from the black earth. Nor is it fitting for the cobbler to prate of the royal matter. O cobbler, mend me this shoe that I may walk. O king, if I be thy son, let us speak of the embassy to the king thy brother. Then there was silence. Speech had done with us a while. There is a light so strenuous that it is not perceived as light. Wolf's bane is not so sharp as steel, yet it pierceth the body more subtly. Even as evil kisses corrupt the blood, so do my words devour the spirit of man. I breathe, and there is infinite dis-ease in the spirit. As an acid eats into steel, as a cancer that utterly corrupts the body, so am I unto the spirit of man. I shall not rest until I have dissolved it all. So also the light that is absorbed. One absorbs little and is called white and glistening. One absorbs all and is called black. Therefore, O my darling, thou art black. O my beautiful, I have likened thee to a jet Nubian slave, a boy of melancholy eyes. O the filthy one, the dog, they cry against thee, because thou art my beloved. Happy are they that praise thee, for they see thee with mine eyes. Not aloud shall they praise thee, but in the night watch one shall steal close and grip thee with the secret grip. Another shall privily cast a crown of violets over thee. A third shall greatly dare and press mad lips to thine. Yea, the night shall cover all, the night shall cover all. Thou wast long seeking me. Thou didst run forward so fast I was unable to come up with thee. O thou darling fool, what bitterness thou didst crown thy days withal. Now I am with thee. I will never leave thy being. For I am the soft sinuous one entwined about thee, heart of gold. My head is jeweled with 12 stars. My body is white as milk of the stars. It is bright with the blue of the abyss of stars invisible. I have found that which could not be found. I have found a vessel of quicksilver. Thou shalt instruct thy servant in his ways. Thou shalt speak often with him. The scribe looketh upward and crieth, Amen. Thou hast spoken it, Lord God. Further, Adonai spake unto VVVVV and said, Let us take our delight in the multitude of men. Let us shape unto ourselves a boat of mother of pearl from them, that we may ride upon the river of Amrit. Thou seest yon petal of amaranth, blown by the wind from the low, sweet brows of Hathor? The magister saw it and rejoiced in the beauty of it. Listen. From a certain world came an infinite wail. That falling petal seemed to the little ones a wave to engulf their continent. So they will reproach thy servant, saying, Who hath sent thee to save us? He will be sore distressed. All they understand not that thou and I are fashioning a boat of mother of pearl. We will sail down the river of Amrit, even to the yew groves of Yama, where we may rejoice exceedingly. The joy of men shall be our silver gleam, their woe our blue gleam, all in the mother of pearl. The scribe was wroth thereat. He spake, O Adonai and my master, I have borne the inkhorn and pen without pay, in order that I may search this river of Amrit and sail thereon as one of ye. This I demand for my fee, that I partake of the echo of your kisses. And immediately it was granted unto him. Nay, but not therewith was he content. By an infinite abasement unto shame did he strive. Then a voice, Thou strivest ever, even in thy yielding, thou strivest to yield, and lo, thou yieldest not. Go thou unto the outermost places and subdue all things. Subdue thy fear and thy disgust. Then yield. There was a maiden that strayed among the corn and sighed. Then grew a new birth, a narcissus, and therein she forgot her sighing and her loneliness. Even instantly, Hades heavily, even instantly rode Hades heavily upon her and ravished her away. Then the scribe knew the Narcissus in his heart, but because it came not to his lips, therefore he was shamed and spake no more. Adonai spake again with VVVVV and said, the earth is ripe for vintage. Let us eat of her grapes and be drunken thereon. And VVVVV answered and said, O my Lord, my dove, my excellent one, how shall this word seem unto the children of men? And he answered him, not as thou canst see. It is certain that every letter of this cipher hath some value, but who shall determine the value? For it varieth ever according to the subtlety of him that made it. And he answered him, have I not the key thereof? I am clothed with the body of flesh. I am one with the eternal and omnipotent God. Then said Adonai, thou hast the head of the hawk, and thy phallus is the phallus of a sar. Thou knowest the white, thou knowest the black, and thou knowest that these two are one. But why seekest thou the knowledge of their equivalence? And he said, that my work may be right. And Adonai said, the strong brown reaper swept his swath and rejoiced. The wise man counted his muscles and pondered and understood not and was sad. Reap thou and rejoice. Then was the adept glad and lifted his arm. Lo, an earthquake and plague and terror on the earth, casting down them that sate in high places, a famine upon the multitude. And the grape fell ripe and rich into his mouth. Stained is the purple of thy mouth, O brilliant one, with the white glory of the lips of Adonai. The foam of the grape is like the storm upon the sea. The ships tremble and shudder. The shipmaster is afraid. That is thy drunkenness, O Holy One, and the winds whirl away the soul of the scribe unto the happy haven. O Lord God, let the haven be cast down by the fury of the storm. Let the foam of the grape tincture my soul with thy light. Bacchus grew old and was Silenus. Pan was ever Pan, forever and ever more throughout the aeons. Intoxicate the inmost, O my lover, not the outermost. So it was ever the same. I have aimed at the peeled wand of my God, and I have hit. Yea, I have hit. And that's the end of chapter 1 of Liber 65. It's attributed to the element of earth. And there's something I'd like to point out. First of all, the very first section, here it's verse 1. Crowley refers to it in other places as the invocation of the Kundalini. And keeping that in mind, here's what it says. I am the heart, and the snake is entwined about the invisible core of the mind. Rise, O my snake, it is now the hour of the hooded and holy ineffable flower. Rise, O my snake, into brilliance of bloom on the corpse of Osiris afloat in the tomb. O heart of my mother, my sister, mine own, thou art given to Nile, to the terror Typhon. Ah me, but the glory of ravening storm enswathes thee in rhapsody and frenzy of form. Be still, O my soul, that the spell may dissolve as the wands are upraised and the aeons revolve. Behold, in my beauty, how joyous thou art, O snake, that caresses the crown of mine heart. Behold, we are one, and the tempest of years goes down to the dust, and the beetle appears. O beetle, the drone of thy dolorous note be ever the trance of this tremulous throat. I await the awaking, the summons on high from the Lord Adonai, from the Lord Adonai. That is the invocation of the Kundalini. For those of you that fashion your own rituals and meditations, that is a mantra to consider for an invocation, preliminary invocation of the Holy Guardian Angel. One other thing before we stop for today, starting with chapter 9. And remember, I said to listen to this like it's music, and don't spend your too much time trying to Kabbalistically analyze everything and start counting the nostril hairs of God. But a couple things are more apparent to Kabbalists in the text than are apparent to non-Kabbalists. So just on chapter 9, or verse 9, it says, "Debate not the image, saying, Beyond, beyond. One mounteth to the crown." Okay, one mounteth to number 1, the crown. "By the moon," there's the moon, number 9. "And by the sun," there's number 6. See, we're mounting to the crown up here. By the moon, the sun. Now the arrow is the next one, and the arrow is the path that joins the moon and the sun. "And by the foundation," that's the name of number 9. "And by the dark home of the stars from the black earth." So he's reminding us that the initiatory climb up the tree of life, the major landmarks of that climb are the middle pillar of the tree of life. "One mounteth unto the crown by the moon, and by the sun, and by the arrow, and by the foundation, and by the dark home of the stars from the black earth. Not otherwise may ye reach unto the smooth point." The smooth point is another Kabbalistic title to number 1. Now, I hope that was entertaining to the Kabbalists among us. Do you know what I think I'm going to do? At the risk of boring many of you, there are 4 more chapters of Liber 65. The next one will be that of air. I'm going to do that tomorrow, with your permission. Anyway, and we'll see if, hopefully I'll get through Liber 65, and we'll think of something else fun to do. Anyway, happy 4th of July for those of you who still remember exactly what the 4th of July was really about as far as human liberation is concerned, and not currently where most people celebrate with their homemade bombs and things like that, torturing all the dogs in the neighborhood. But I feel like the crabby old man. Get those kids off my lawn. Anyway, everything else is chaotic here at the moment, so continue to hold a good thought for us, everyone. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Don't blow your fingers off today at the 4th of July. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.